So my name's Julie, and I'm from an organisation that I founded called Underneath My Umbrella. Established it about 4 years ago as a creative arts recovery space for women who've been experiencing family violence. Came out of my own lived experience recovery, but also from an experience that I did have with being able to tell my story through a digital process, which I found really, really beneficial for me. Being a creative person, it really helped me to overcome some of the challenges and mental health and stuff like that. So, yeah, working as a chaplain, I've been in the emergency ministries situation, so big storm weather events. So part of what a training session was about just recently, like, last year, was we planned for major events. We planned for big major events through a lot of local government agencies and networks of SES and police and all those sort of organisations. One of the things that they looked at was, in fact, that we don't actually plan for recovery. And so part of the scenarios that this room of 70, 80 people were looking at was all the different scenarios for how do we build better recovery and establish communities better. And a lot of the discussions and the elements that fell into that just really relate to how family violence is navigated to that there we can plan, we can promote about education prevention. 16 days of activities is coming up in September. But there's also a need to plan for recovery because it isn't just you're out of the situation, that's it. Life goes on better and bigger and better and brighter. There's a lot of different stages in the recovery, and for some women, it can take a long time. It can take years. There's PTSD and all those sort of things, which is the same as if you're in a big weather event. There's PTSD that triggers when the next storm comes or the next fire season comes. So those sort of elements tie a lot together in the whole effect of trauma. So yeah, so with creative activities, whether it's painting, whether it's drawing, whether it's music, dance, metalwork, there's so many different ways that we can be creative in life. So the key elements that I built into Underneath Umbrella is just giving opportunity to explore creativity as a way of navigating trauma, of building connection and building safe places for women to come into, to ask questions and plan for not just for getting out of that situation, but also thinking about recovery, whether it's a week, a month, a year, or 10 years down the track. I want to be able to provide spaces that women feel that they can connect into, don't have to explain themselves. They're not going to be judged. It's just holding them where they're at and just providing something again that can help them to track and reconnect through that recovery in a creative way. Yeah, so different activities, and it depends on the team that I have, and also because I've only got a small team at the moment, but also on sort of the topic and theme. So just recently, I started to navigate the course for this year. We're looking at the river journey, and I guess that's significant with flooding and everything in that sort of situation. But also that life and trauma is like the river journey. So what sort of things that we're carrying and how we can lay that down. So it may be just creating and painting a river, and then one of the activities I did was taking each person to have a pebble and think about what is it that we're carrying or still holding on to that we could lay down in that river, and just as a symbolic way of releasing some of the things that we're carrying so we can refocus into the positive stream of life, and just acknowledge that, that river can actually be a really frightful kind of place. There's a lot of things that are going on with the powerful flow of a river, but there's also a life-giving force within water itself as well. So it's trying to focus in the positives of what we can do to keep stepping forward. We acknowledge that there's stuff that's happened in the past, or even if it's just recently happened, but there's steps that we can refocus ourselves to keep moving forward, and just acknowledging sort of within the heart work that healthy hearts, healthy minds, and healthy bodies naturally go together. I've just recently, a couple of weeks ago, had a workshop. So I brought together 10 women who have had the experience of family violence, have come across Victoria and interstate, brought them together to narrate their recovery story and their experiences of family violence, and partnered them with 10 artists who sat down to listen to their story and also then translate and paint that onto canvas as to what that recovery journey looks like. So there was also some photographers there to capture the women narrators, so we can capture them in black and white with a face, or not identifying, so I'm call it creative photography of not identifying the women, but with their narrated, handwritten narrated stories, their photographic imagery, and then the artwork on canvas, taking that into a big series of exhibitions next year called Black and White. And the reason that it's black and white is to showcase family violence recovery from these 10 inspiring women that have participated, to showcase the recovery through their story, and the handwritten narration is just that personal touch of who they are. But the simple message is that, family violence and recovery is not simply a black and white. So to have this captured on canvas by such gifted artists that have participated, it's the only element that's being put into true color. And it's a fact that's just revealing that there is recovery and there is hope in navigating in that. But it's definitely not a black and white situation. Looking for locations to host it through, probably having a gala launch in January next year, which will be a bit of a fundraiser and invitation to certain people to come through and take a look at it as a first look. But also just as a fundraiser to support the work of Underneath My Umbrella, because we're not a funded organisation. But then, yeah, to carry it through different areas. I'm based in the city of Knox, so probably start in my hometown, and then wherever people want to take it and to host it, happy to let it tour around, because I think it will, one, provide education for people who don't understand family violence or don't understand the situation that they're in. It will, number two, encourage people to take a step, but also number three is just helping to do a bit of fundraising through exhibitions that can generate a little bit more financial support for the organisation, but in the long term, looking at helping to provide financial support for women who are coming out of that situation, because that's one of the challenges that is ongoing. It's not just, within the 12 months or after a divorce settlement has gone through, there's still challenges ongoing from that for many women. And, women over, I think it's 40 to 50, probably the highest statistic of homelessness in the country. So, yeah, it's one of those big challenges to try and address that a little bit further down the track as we become known.